Morgan here and Jack Bennett. All the lights are currently lit here on track, and it is go, go, go! Down through the Mercedes teammate. Donoso with a crafty manoeuvre up the inside. Masterclass from the Chilean.
Crucial championship points on offer here.
Do not count out Danny Berezne.
Longe has done the job. This is for the win between these two.
Freddie Rasmussen wins the United States Grand Prix.
Alfie Butcher wins for the first time ever. Lucas Blakely takes the championship. It's Barry Foreman.
Jarno Opmeer is your champion.
Good evening and welcome to PSGL. It is time for season 39 and we're getting going here with the F3 tier. As you can see, it is me and Omid once again. I'm very excited to be in the booth with you, and this time we shall be running the entirety of the F3 season. I'm excited to be here, Omid. How about you?
Absolutely. It's time for a brand new season of PSGL. It's the final season on this game. It's a very short season. It's going to go by in a flash. And we've got some grid to take us through here in season 39. 24. Really excited.
Absolutely. Like we said, we've got ourselves a nice little short calendar displayed on your screen ever so quickly. Starting off with the mighty Bahrain. Sakir, what a track to get yourself going on. It is 15 turns of 5.412 kilometers, 3 DRS zones and 3 detection points. Plenty of overtaking opportunities, plenty of places to stick your nose in and bring a little bit of battle in. But now, as we get ourselves nice and bonnet and relaxed, qualifying is about to begin.
Absolutely. Time for qualifying as these drivers head back out there. 1 point available session, and it's a chance for them to get an early championship lead. And these are always the special moments. These are always the amazing moments where for the first time in a season, you get them bolting out and heading out onto the circuit. All of these new names in different teams all arriving to this arena where if you get it right, you could put yourself in contention for F2 early even. As really this season, if you stand out, if you perform to a level that is above everyone else, we do and have seen over the last 2 seasons promotions from previous promotions early on straight over towards the F2 tier for Gabriel Quintana, for Angelo Di Hortensio and for Ben Marples as well.
So this could certainly be the place to make your name, get a little bit extra fame and propel into a higher tier. You all want to go bigger, go better and get higher up in the standings. This is where we want to be, it's where we want to place ourselves. Higher tiers, better competition. You'd love to see it. Speaking of competition, we have a reserve on the grid currently on board with first driver to take to the track, Paul Adolphs. Filling in instead of Bilan Elikas. Elikas is in the F4 and the reserve of Paul Adolphs is in the F3 to take his place.
Yeah, absolutely. So Elikas will not be racing with us this season at all. He's going to be in F4 all the way through. And you are going to see Paul Adolphs indeed, who will become the new reserve driver in place of him as well.
Something's wrong. Something is very wrong. Apparently there's something wrong. It's sort of laggy. It's laggy. It's very, very laggy. I think I know what it may be. Everything's running fine on my end. It's just being extremely laggy.
Oh.
F3. Something is very, very broken. I may need to end and restart very quickly. Something's gone very, very wrong. I think we're back. I think we are back. No, it's laggy again. Ooh. Is it? Are we back? Are we working?
Looks like it. Looks like we are back in action.
I think that just might be a little bit of a strange moment. I do apologise for that very, very strange opening to qualifying. Very, very weird way to start the stream. I've restarted it and we seem to be going back to normal now. Everything looked fine on my end. I had absolutely no screen stutters, no nothing. Even the display from Streamlabs was looking absolutely crisp, clean and perfect. But looking at it on the YouTube, it was diabolical. It was terrible. But now we are back, now we are fixed. I just had to do a quick little restart on the stream, and as you can see, Rens Thomassen taking pole position currently, but we still have quite a lot of the qualifying to go, still quite a lot to get underway.
Yes, absolutely. Apologies everyone for that. Yeah, opening season stuff. We're getting it out of the way early, and we are getting it out in the opening qualifying session of the season, as we hope to bring you perfect stream for the rest as well. As you mentioned, Rens Thomassen at the front of the field. We are watching a driver who joined this tier, Oleg Napadovsky, at the end of last season, filling in for 2 races, Las Vegas, Bahrain. And we're back at Bahrain once again. We ended the season at Bahrain last time out, and now to start season 39, we are back around this venue. So most of these drivers, Corey, would have done the practice and then done even more practice for their circuit. It's taken place in a couple of weeks, both races, the season finale and the season opener.
Has it died again?
I believe we are having still some lag issues.
What
Up there?
is going on? This is very strange. However, I did see a City Fibre van parked outside my house this morning. So whether they've been doing some work on the lines and it's just not back up to full speed, I'm not entirely sure, but I've had no information previously. We're currently on board with Oleg Napadovsky as he's coming down around turn 8, down towards turn 9. I hope that the stream will just stay nice and bonny for us. I think I did see a City Fibre van, so that down literally at the end of my street where the telephone pole is and where all the lines are. And they have been doing some work on the lines, and I don't know if this is a result of that, but my Wi-Fi has had some work that has been unbeknownst to myself. I think somebody else has had the lines installed. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we're reduced
Terrible
on speed.
timing.
Terrible timing. What a way to start off season 39 with a little bit of connection issues.
Yeah, not what we wanted. We've had a few weeks of no PSGL. It could have happened then, but no. It's gonna come. It's gonna hit us right in round 1 as well. Sickness has also managed to hit me, and by the looks of things, loads of different commentators here at PSGL as well. We send speedy recovery wishes to TK, who's managed to catch the virus once again. So yeah, speedy recovery. You're wishing to him.
Everything looks perfectly fine on my end. This is why it's confusing. Everything looks completely fine. No stutters on Streamlabs. I'm getting the warnings, so there's a little thing at the bottom that tells me. And He's saying frames dropped over the last 2 minutes. Frames have not been uploaded related due to a poor network connection. Yes, so it is a result of whatever they've been doing in my area, whatever work they've been carrying out. They've reduced the speed, reduced the flow in my area at the moment.
Quite unfortunate. We will hope to still bring you a good race, and hopefully it just holds itself and gets better throughout the evening, especially when we make our way towards the fast lap times. Talking about fast lap times, we're getting some now with Booba, the highest returning driver for this season from this tier. He managed to finish 5th last season, and now he's back out there again, this time for Aston Martin.
It's invalidated that, so this will be an in lap. The drivers coming down towards the line looking to improve on their times. I'll just see if I can run a speed test real quick.
Indeed. So, Tony Hitala at the front of the field with the lap time that he has just set. Right now, though, at this moment, you are seeing all the lap times coming in. We are taking a look at T.S. Korsman, an F5 champion from a couple of seasons ago. And now he is going to look to try and attack right up to the pit wall. That's usually the way that these drivers run around this circuit, as they run the cars low to the ground. It is the line to be on, as we saw in the F1 Esports Championship a couple of weeks ago. And Korsman, around the track where we won that F5 Championship a few seasons ago, he is now attacking. This time tackling, though, a brand new season. He was in F2 last season, finished in 27th, a reserve driver who wasn't there for the majority of it. So he now looks to come in this tier, be attacking, and go and try and grab that championship as well to get back into F2.
Yes, all for T.S. Korsman to try and get his way back up to the tier that he once called home. But now sits himself in F3, trying to fight his way towards that potential seat. As we mentioned earlier on, it does open the door for drivers to get higher up in the tiers if you have a good showing in F3. I'm just had a quick little look at the speeds. The speeds aren't too bad. It may come back with a little bit of time, I hope. But for now, it seems to be running okay. I'm watching the stream back on my phone, so this is how I realised that we was having issues, because I had no idea. I just looked at the Streamlabs and seen that there was an error warning, then I clicked it and saw the poor connection thing. But it was the YouTube that gave me the indication, watching the stream back, that something was a little bit funky-do. But we're on with Rens Tomasson, who could potentially challenge for pole position against Tony Hitala. He was fastest earlier on until he was jumped by Hitala. He comes around the final turn 15 now. Flat towards the line, it will be the start of his lap. DRS aided all the way down the straight. Coming down to the harsh braking zone into turn 1, slam on those brakes, rotate around to the right. You need to be cautious on the throttle. You can't just flat out of there. You still need to flick it round to the left as turn 3 and collect yourself on turn 2 and 3. DRS aided once again all the way up to turn number 4. Keeping it tight to the apex and trying to maximise the track limits on the exit to finish his first sector. He's not currently gained any time. He's lost time, almost a tenth under his delta, his previous personal best. But maybe sector 2 is the sector to gain time, or maybe even sector 3.
That's what he will be looking for. So he's the driver that currently sits on the front row. When it comes to the race, they will switch positions. However, if you do start on pole, you do get a bonus point for that. That is what Rens Tomasson would be wanting to carry confidence into the race, wanting to carry the championship lead as well. And at the end of the season, every single point does matter. So it's really important to be getting every single point you can in this type of championship, where it always comes down to the end, where it's always so close. Came down to position at Bahrain last time out for this tier in the championship decider. So points do really matter, as we see him come over the line.
Just checking to see that nothing's downloaded sneakily in the background, anything like that, and there's not. So anything that could cause my connection to drop and do anything unbeknownst. I'm no longer getting errors, but the stream looks still very laggy, and I don't know how to fix it. I'm going to new plastics, everything else looks perfectly fine. Depressing times.
Definitely not. Way we wanted to bring you this season opener. I really want to thank every single person that is watching right now, and apologies for what is going on with the screen, but great to see everyone coming out here joining us for this brand new season opener. Jerry Van Brussel right now, the driver in third position, and he was in F2 last season, doing a couple of rounds, finishing 23rd in those standings. So he, just like Korsman, is coming here in this tier now, try and impress and show some of his skill, and he will be doing so in the LP.
So I wonder if he's going for an in lap here, or if he's just taking it nice and easy to go again. But he's looking very, very slow, so maybe fuel is the factor on that one. We do have Wojtek, Steg coming into the pits also. Everybody diving into the pit lane now. So this is where we see everybody getting themselves ready for the final runs. The time has been ticking down. We apologise, you haven't seen a lot of this Bahrain qualifying, but we're trying to give you the best show possible, and with those screen stutters and lags, it doesn't look too good and can get very frustrating for the viewers. So I was just trying to get that nice and fixed before we got into the Grand Prix. You don't want to miss any spicy action, any interesting overtakes, to say the least, any questionable moments, drama and controversy. Everybody wants to see the drama.
Yes, absolutely, they all do. Alexander Dimas, the driver who is now in second place, and he comes in with a heap of confidence. He comes in as the F4 champion. If you are the F4 champion, come straight here and straight to see and watch yourself possibly getting sent to the front of the field, and that is going to be his aim, definitely coming in. But it's Tony Hitala in the Aston Martin who is right now fighting out in front, and he is the driver who's currently sitting in that pole position, which they all want to be in, and the lap times continue to come in and come in once more. And once again, apologies to everyone for this. I can see loads of people in the live chat all mentioning it. Corey is trying his absolute best, but there isn't really much he can do at this stage.
No, for some reason I have absolutely just zero speeds. Everything is running fine, the equipment's running fine, it's just the upload speed has gone. I have this City Fiber package that normally gives me 940 megabyte download and 900 upload, but for some reason I'm barely seeing above 40 upload speeds at the test. Yeah, I'm gonna restart after quali. To be fair, I'm gonna see what I can do with that. So the stream will stay active. All I need to do is like relaunch software and then press stream active and stuff like that. I'm gonna see what I can do to try and fix this, and then hopefully bring you the best show possible for the Grand Prix. I think it's died. Has it died? It's died. It's all over the place at the moment. It's so unpredictable. Patala though with a purple sector 1 is coming down into turn number 8. A hairpin S that can really catch you out and throw you about. He comes down towards turn number 9. Could be looking to improve that pole position time.
Indeed. While the stream might be unpredictable, Hitala definitely out there, looks in control of his car, and looks like a driver with a heap of confidence. A driver trying to take it further away from the field in the dying moments of this qualifying session. So let's see as he navigates his way through 12, 13, coming up, and you can see that he's going faster and faster out there on the circuit, and he is trying his absolute best to take it further away from the field in his Aston Martin as he is about to send his way all the way up towards the line. And Tony Hitala, what is the lap time going to be? Can he take it further away? He does take it further away from the rest of the drivers, and he's extended his advantage to try and be the pole sitter by the end of this qualifying session.
Tudor Preston towards the line, up to P6. It's all he can do for this session. Campbell Adams jumps up to P2, just falling short of Paul. The Haas towards the lines. That's Zach Miles, it is indeed. A 10th up on his time so far, good enough for P9. Marcel Biega. P5, good lap there. See Victor Wilder not really improving there as he comes towards the line. Anybody else at Red Bulls? Tias Korsman. Felipe Salza up to P14. Tias Korsman just jumps ahead of him there. Separated by the finest of margins before Wojtek Steg comes over to get P6. Ferrari down towards the line. Leonardo Tonelato not going to improve ever so much. Jerry Van Bussel jumps ahead of that Sauber, and that will do us for qualifying.
Yep, absolutely. So that is qualifying done. And qualifying that has delivered us with more and more shocks and amazing performances. Tony Hitala, well, about this time last season, I was praising Gabriel Quintino for his near 310 pole. Same thing can be said about Tony Hitala. And also, may I just add, they've both done it in an Aston Martin. Is it just an Aston Martin thing to be way clear of the field for round one qualifying?
Yeah, it seems to be the most comfortable car that they find themselves in. Everybody finding just the finest of margins, but again, there can only be one on that pole position to take that extra point, as you mentioned, Omer. So it's a good way to start off in season 39. Now, as we get to the mandatory lobby restart, I am going to restart the stream. Bear with us while I try and get this all fixed and get us back underway properly. Okay. Hopefully we have some sort of fix for that. I did just restart the entire Streamlabs software, and hopefully that's done some form of improvement. I'm waiting for my end to update so I can see exactly what is going on. Hold up. Apparently there's no sound. What about now? Say something on me, if you could be so kind.
Yes, absolutely. Hopefully we do have a bit of sound coming in.
But
There we go.
I've had to restart everything, so just bear with me, people.
Yeah, so Corey had to restart everything, which is why I think it put me on mute. Well, this isn't the way we wanted to start. This is not the way we wanted to start the season, and we really, really appreciate everyone sticking with us. But yes, it is not going to plan. But we're still going to bring you a good race. We're still going to bring you an action-packed race as well. And yeah, it's going to be action-packed. It's going to be amazing, and we'll do our absolute best to keep you up to date. And then we'll definitely, of course, bring you hopefully proper coverage from next time out.
Just looking
Okay.
at some settings, just being nosy, but we can display on your screen the calendar so you can actually have a proper look at what is to come. Starting off in Bahrain before we get ourselves over to what is normally a season finale. But excited for that? Anything you're excited to see in Brazil, or anything that you are expecting?
Well, Brazil is always an amazing circuit. I remember one of Brazil a couple of seasons ago was absolutely wild. Well, we had a lot of contact, I'll be honest, but we had some amazing racing as well. We had weather change, we had uh, absolutely everything going wild. Uh, yeah. So looking forward to Brazil. Then we'll head, of course, to Belgium. To 6 laps of absolute madness. It goes wild at Austria all the time, but we always get some last lap fights. Then we'll head to our a quick little break. Back over to Britain. What a circuit that is! Singapore, Mexico, and only 9 rounds, with the ninth round being Abu Dhabi, as we end it under the lights as well, where we will crown our season 39 champion.
Oh, what a way to end it. Abu Dhabi. Love to see it. I absolutely love Abu Dhabi. It's a good way to get a season finished. But it's gotta be Brazil. You know, got to keep it to the tradition. We love to see a Brazil finale, but it's interesting to see it in round 2. I'm excited to see Singapore now. Not a lot of people like to say that, but it can really test you. Those walls come at you from out of nowhere when you're pushing the car beyond its natural limits, trying to get that level of grip and traction down onto the tarmac, and then that barrier just comes and meets you ever so quickly. Oh, Mexico, another circuit that I'm going to love to see some racing on, especially as soon as you come out of those S's, you've got that DRS aid. Oh, interesting battles certainly to come underway, especially with this short little season as we get ourselves ready for the next game cycle. Well, interesting calendar, and I'm glad to be here to try and do it. Hopefully, the stream is going to be a lot better from today. I can only do what I can do and go from there. Apparently, we have no data.
Corey, the stream's not on.
It's not on at all.
No, it's ended and it's tracked to F2.
Oh, it's killed
My
itself.
end.
It's killed itself completely.
It's going off and on, off and on. Just sort of let you know.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix it. They've done something to my internet, like.
Because I was thinking, is it worth asking Sappy to jump in F3, take over you? Because Sappy was meant to be doing F2 with me and Timon, but broadcasting it.
Yeah, probably.
Is it worth him jumping in and streaming instead of you for this one, and then you come back
Yes.
next week?
Yes.
I just don't want to double check if that was fine with you.
Actually, Richie, if Sappy doesn't want to commentate, he's going to be screen sharing to me anyway. So if he wants, he can just sit in the background, kind of do what he was going to do for F2 and then stream to both of us.
Yeah,
That's
because he was meant to be streaming for me and Timon. They was going to try that thing with the director, but if Corey's stream doesn't work, it's better Sappy just doing F3, because I can still stream F2 my end.
Yeah, and then Sappy could stream the game to both of us like he did last season.
Or he could stream to Corey, yeah. Good point, actually.
I'll stream to both of us, he'll be streaming to me anyway.
Oh, I think it's just come back on.
Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to a bit of exclusive behind the scenes of PSGL.
We're trying to figure out a little bit of a fix here.
Yeah, so we're just considering what we could do as well to give you a proper race coverage. We're going to be seeing producer Sappy on later with F2, but yes, it might be producer Sappy for F3. Who knows? So we're just assessing that situation. We're just working that out, what we're going to do. But what we can tell you is, do stick with us. We will be bringing you a race, and we're going to try and do so to the best of our ability. But as you mentioned, Corey, absolutely extraordinary calendar. What I'm excited for about Singapore, as well as you brought that up, it's not the easy pass and all of the tactical games you can usually do. So when it comes to the last lap, we usually get last lap passes, and we usually get second place being the good tactical position to be in. The drivers are able at Singapore to have a bit more influence, let's just say, on what position they would rather be in, of course, because it can be a bit hard to overtake. So it definitely does mean that that it just works a bit more differently when it comes to the final stages.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the way things are going to go throughout the season. I think it's come back though, but I don't know how we're going to go about this one. Whether we're still going to run this or what. I think we're just still checking. They're about to go racing.
Yeah, absolutely. So Yeah, I think Corey, you need to first of all send an invite to Sappy to just get him in, and then it'll all be fine. And then as soon as Sappy is in here, and he'll send it to, then he'll screen share to both of us, and we'll be able to commentate. So everyone, well, I've just told Corey a bit of information, but the information that all of you need to know is you'll be getting the race coming your way, hopefully with absolute no lag. So that's the information for you guys as we get ready for a brand new season of PSGL. Season 39, they are absolutely flying by, and we'll all be back very, very shortly.
You off?
Currently looking at Will Be Right Back screen, I believe. It's just taking me a minute to update. Yes, there we are. We are on with the race. Everybody, you can see the race is undergone. We are on lap 2. We apologise for all the delays, the obstructions, but as you can see, Tony Atala's got off to a fantastic start, getting himself a nice little bit of a breathing space. Campbell Adams behind, Alexander Dimas, Renz Tomasa, Marcel Biega, Tudor Prestican going all the way down at the field. But it's been a nice little getaway from everybody. Only one driver getting himself in a bit of a rough and tuffle. Alou finding himself all the way down 27 seconds behind. Potentially had to box for a new wing. But he's on fresh soft compound tyres. Everybody on the grid driving the harder compound tyre.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Aleski Carrera on the soft right at the back. Everyone else on the hards where they started the race. You've got Tony Atala, as you mentioned, your race leader by 0.3 of a second. It's getting super, super tight. In the battle for 4th, in the battle for 5th, as you've got the two Mercedes trying their absolute best to go on the attack. And we're on board with Marcel Biega going to deploy a bit of the battery as we head our way to the pit wall and about to go towards turn 1. Change of lead coming up. Campbell Adams hits the front of the field and he gets past Tony Atala. You're going to be seeing loads of changes for the lead coming in as they all play the tactical
Big
game.
incident! Turn 1 incident slowed the entire pack down. Zach Miles got himself spawning in a way that has becoming a roadblock, a barrier, stopping and creating a lot of traffic. You can see there's a massive gap opened in that field now. Just became an absolute roadblock. There was nothing he could do there.
Absolutely super, super tight. That's late on the brakes from Oleg Napadovsky as he gets past Victor Vidler on his return. So we have Victor Vidler on his return back to PSGL after a couple of seasons away. He's back here on the F1 24 game in the McLaren as he tries to go battling. Aggressive start to the campaign, we have to say, as it was contact further back. So all sorts happening in the opening early stages. And Campbell Adams, the driver, who was the runner-up in F4 last season, now is heading the field in F3 season 39. And right now, it's going to be really interesting to see how he gets on, if he can continue this throughout the campaign and get the title that he missed out on in F4.
Currently on board with Tudor Prestican as he coming around the final turn, looking to chase up on his Mercedes counterpart. Campbell Adams taking that fastest lap. Is there a point awarded for that in this season, Omi?
Yes, absolutely. We give out the point for this, for the fastest lap, for pole position. And of course, you could get 16 if you are the winner by the end of today. Unfortunately, Leonardo Tornato will not have a chance to be that winner as he is our first retirement of the season.
Only lasted 4 laps, but it's been a dramatic start to season 39 from all corners. Commentators have had drama. There's drama on the track. We saw Zach Miles become a barrier. Leonardo Tornato retiring. Alou, the second Ferrari, needing to box and swap his wing and tyres is without its fair share of drama here in Bahrain. But we are now looking to the back end of the grid. Yannick Schmidt, who can hopefully close up to Tias Korsman, do anything about it to get himself within the chance of getting some points as we get through this short-handed season. Only 9 rounds to go through this short little break, if you would. Normally you go for, 12 rounds, 14 rounds, depending on on the type of season. I think 12 rounds is what we normally go for. We're looking on at the front. Alexander Demas may be under attack from Renz Tomas and behind.
Renz Tomas and the driver directly behind indeed. You've also got Marcel Biega in there. You've got both Mercedes. And Tador Pressakan, another driver who has moved from F2 down to F3 with a goal to be back there once again. We're on board with him. We can see that he is getting closer. Change of lead up front. Tony Atala hits the front of the field as Biega got close, did not get by. He's still in behind. Look at how close it is. They're all glued together. It's whoever deploys the battery will get the opportunity. And talking about deploying the battery, are we going to see a battle between the two Mercedes? Turn 4 is coming up, and it's going to be super tight between the two of them as Biega versus Pressakan early on in the campaign. Turn number 5 coming our way, and it will come our way with Pressakan ahead of his teammate Biega.
That was a beautiful little battle between the teammates. Teammate rivalry, potentially something you can see incoming. Can he challenge back as we go down into turn 10? No, he can't. He's not close enough. Maybe we see a bit of a swap there. Fernando Alonso diving on Hamilton. Maybe it's a Mercedes diving on the Mercedes down in turn 10 here today.
Absolutely, could be the case. You've got Linus Donovan also getting excited, also wanting to get himself in the mix as well as we head down through turn number 13. All the different racing lines being attempted right now at this stage of our contest. And Pressakan, after battling with his teammate, is he now about to do battle with Renz Tomasin, who is in P4. Back onto the start-finish straight, and right now, the top 7 with a gap, so everyone outside that top 7 has not been able to stick in this battle as we throw it down to the first turn once again.
Nobody making any moves or lunges apart from Paul Adolphs, the reserve driver taking in that Sauber for tonight, making a move on Tomas Laminen. Can Laminen do anything to fight it back and potentially get on back with this DRS? He's not. Maybe under attack from Felipe Sousa. Sousa just not close enough yet. The Red Bull looking to get into that top 10. Just not close enough as we get going in lap 6. The gaps are starting to close down a little bit, but from P8 to P9, that gap's just P7 to P8, that gap's just a little bit too big for comfort.
It is indeed. So,
Closed in L.
Yeah, go on.
He's closing. He's closed a dramatic amount though.
Absolutely. We're getting so many interesting storylines, so much interesting stuff happening out there on this racetrack. You've got the two kick Saubers together on the circuit as well. You have Steg just ahead of Paul Adolphs.
Teammates fighting, Mercedes fighting, Kick Saubers fighting. Any other teams want to give us some dramatic little rivalry? I'm all for it. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, we're looking to
making any moves. No one's going for anything optimistic in the final turns. Everybody's just playing it safe. How long can these hard tyres go? But the DRS is certainly aiding Paul Adolphs as well as Tomas Laminen and Felipe Sousa. All of them going for a move, but it's Sousa who's going to have to fight for it against that Sauber and does get on through to get into that top 10.
Yannick Schmidt getting close with Korsman. We are taking a look from the rear big view of the Recon. He's just got past the Red Bull. Here is Paul Adolphs, one of the other reserve drivers coming in as well. He's ahead of Laminin. Then it's Felipe Sousa, who, well, I commentated on Felipe Sousa all the way back in F4 and F5 a few seasons ago. Some of his championship seasons as well. And I know he has quite a lot of support. So let us know if you are supporting Felipe Sousa or any other driver in this field. Great to always know who you are rooting on this season. We're in round 1 of 9. Rounds are shorter this year, meaning the drivers have to perform and get it right early on straight away. This round 1 and every single round that will follow is so critical in the context of who will be our season 39 champion.
Every round is critical. It's a shorter season. Every point matters. And for this top 7 that have just ran away, got that 2-second gap, they're certainly going to have to throw it all out to get themselves the best possible start going into this short season before we get ourselves ready for the next game cycle. This is the end of game season, shortened down, which should make the competition a little bit more feisty. We don't have those rounds in hand. Oh, was that a mistake from the Alpine, potentially opening the door? Not indeed. Rens Tomassen was looking for something on Alexander Damas, but could not get on through. Just not an open door, no open gaps. But if there's one open, he's going to go for it. Is that Campbell Adams leaving the door open? Potentially. Just couldn't get the traction down though, could Damas?
Couldn't get the traction down. Indeed, for Alex Dimas,
Ooh,
who's
big
still in
send!
contention. Late lunge! That is super late on the brakes from Pressacan, who has been sitting in behind after getting past his teammate. He wanted 4th. He went all in for that 4th position as the Mercedes closed in under braking. My word, sending a late lunge once again didn't work out for him, but he's definitely showing how much he is desperate for that 4th place.
Oh, you need it. You need every point in this short season. He needs to make the moves and make them early. If he can get himself in the right position before the pit stop strategies come into effect, could set himself up for potential victory. He's well within that fight. You see the front 7 just getting themselves away, gapping a little bit more lap after lap. It's 2 seconds to Tomas Lamanen. And it's now 2.1 as 2.2 as the laps unfold. You can see it start to break away that little bit more. That DRS train just pulling each other along lap after lap.
Here we go. Turn 1 coming our way once more. And is it going to be Campbell Adams all the way around the outside? He's going to think about it at least, but will sit in behind. Not worth fully exchanging on the outside line that time around. It can mean that he gets very close into 2, into 3. The corner we're heading to now is turn number 4, and Campbell Adams has to wait in behind at this stage. It's getting very close further back. Marcel Biega versus Linus Donovan versus Tudor Pressacan. You just saw them all glued together in the background. This is the driver who's at the back of this little battle, and it will be disappointment for Ferrari at the end of this round, because both of them are the first 2 to retire out of a race this season. It's Alessi Carrero and Leonardo Tornolato, both out, as we have 18 remaining.
It's unfortunate the Ferrari teams potentially looking to work together to do some good point scoring are just completely out of the start of season 39 and not even done 10 laps. It's okay, they've got plenty of time to practice for next week. There's still 8 rounds to go, but that loss in points could make all the difference as we get to the end to crown that season 39 champion.
Yes, right now though, we are looking to try crown who will be winning by the end of this 29-lap race. Let's take a look at TS Korsman, as you say, Corey, because he's about to go on the attack, isn't he? On the run towards turn 1, so is Campbell Adams as he takes the lead.
Oh, Tomas Lamanen as well, making a move easy with that DRS. Trayvon Bussell getting it done on Oleg Napadovsky. Moves coming at the back end of the field in places you're not usually used to seeing it. But they're trying to get those positions done. 10 laps, 19 laps to go of this Grand Prix. There's still a lot of racing to unfold. We're still only in this first stint, everybody. Not even getting close to when they're going to implement their pit stop strategies. I don't know, what do you think? Is he going to be on a bit of a whim here? How long can these hard tyres go? Will we see hards to softs?
Definitely will be risky stuff, but we have seen wilder things. But yeah, they'll be stretching this one out now as well, and then they'll be moving on to the next set, which for most will be those mediums. If someone really can stretch the stint time and go bold, could be the softs as well. Right now they're just all on those hard copper tyres. Zach Miles has been given a 3-second time penalty. He is that driver who's just going completely different with the strategy. Those softs will not be taking him all the way to the end, but he's had to make an early pit stop, so he'll just hope for a safety car and hope for some of that to come in, as we see Itala getting super tight. So there could be another change of lead out in front, Mr. Corey Brooks.
Oh, absolutely. We do see the change of lead incoming. That DRS makes it very, very easy. Hitala, Campbell just swapping lap after lap, using it to keep the cars behind and just propel themselves further and further into their stints. However, without that DRS, you need to burn a little bit of battery because the cars behind are looking to prey on the positions. And if you miss your brakes, leave any open door, you have 6 cars lurking behind looking to snatch that position away from you. The start of the season could be anybody's in that top 7 listing as Felipe Souza now takes that P8, 2.5 seconds gap. Tudor Pressican trying to get a dive done as it's Linus Donovan looking to get on through. The side-by-side coming around turn 9, coming down to turn 10. Still side-by-side on the exit. Looks like the McLaren's going to have the upper hand. Linus Donovan flat to the floor. Will he burn some of that battery to push on through? Viegas, Tudor Pressican certainly is trying to defend it. He does send it around the outside. Pressican looking to defend it, but the inside line has been left open after he's had a little time slapper, and Donovan does go on through. Nice little bit of action there coming through Sector 2.
Yeah, absolutely. They're really going for it. So is definitely Pressican. Loads of drivers at this stage of the contest would just want to be able to just sit in behind at this stage and just wait at this stage of the race. Go for moves that are only on. Not if you're Tador Pressican. He wants to go on the attack. He wants to gain a couple of positions. And talking about gaining positions, the change for lead that we usually get possibly very nearly incoming as it's tight between the top 2, but they both decide to not exchange this time around. Could be down to us time 4. We're looking at a closer battle that definitely is for position. As you can see, it's getting very close. Brave stuff. Oh, trying to go the long way around. Was Pressican, he won't be able to do it, and he very nearly lost the car in the process. My word, was that close. As we look back to Booba, the highest returning driver this season, and the driver who has the possession of 9th.
Fights for the front, fights for the back end. We saw Booba and Paul Adolphs both going side by side in quite a risky, monumental battle there, as well as Tudor Prestigan trying to go the long way around Linus Donovan, trying to take his position back away from him. But Linus Donovan is locked in. He is well on the ball and looking to close down that gap to the second Mercedes, Marcel Biega. Has he just done better in conserving those tyres? That tyre management is crucial, especially doing a hard stint. You don't want to burn them out too quickly. It's all about making them go the long run. And then you set yourself up for that end game, that final run and push for racing victory, or even a podium if you deem yourself worthy on them steps.
Yeah, absolutely. So, here we go then. Once more, cutting the beam onto this time around. It's lap number 13, and this time around you've got mega speed for Dimas. So we've had a change for the lead multiple times, but Dimas was deploying the battery. Dimas wanted to get by, and it's getting super tight once more. So many battles going on in the background. You find yourself with Souza, who is ahead of Steg, and Steg right now is in 12th position, wants to get that place, wants to join his teammate as Felipe Souza, the F4 champion from a couple of seasons ago, will keep his foot in, and we're about to do battle 2-5, 2-6, and it's going to be still Souza who is in front.
Ooh, Souza really needing to get his elbows out to defend against Steg there. The Sauber coming in to take what could be top 10 finishing, maybe even with the undercut if the undercut strategies are yet to unfold. Only lap 13, all these hard runners running as long as they can. I'm interested to see what's going to happen. Can somebody extend to soft tyres? It's going to be a risk, but high risk, high reward in the end. You may even bag that fastest lap. And if you can make the time back, take the victory.
Indeed, so that's what everyone is right now looking for and waiting for the strategy. That's when really the races usually start to get a little bit more gaps in between, a little bit more battles at higher intensity. But if you are not in the train for the lead, you just want to get on with it, and you just want to try and secure the race and try to do the best job that you can as well. Okay, so Hitala got close to the lead, won't be able to get there. It is the Mercedes all doing battle. So that was Prestican versus Biega originally. Then Donovan got back ahead. But yes, Prestican, we are learning, Corey, in the early stage of this season, that he is a driver who is not afraid to be too late on the brakes, Daniel Ricciardo style.
Absolutely. It feels like he can really push the boundaries on the braking points. You've seen him go for some late braking manoeuvres in this Grand Prix, really trying to push the boundaries. Maybe could be Daniel Ricciardo in a Mercedes himself, looking to certainly mimic the same style. He really catches drivers off guard. You're not expecting them to try and push that. If you go late on the brakes and the car next to you goes even later, it can really put you off and put you under a bit of a pressure. Maybe leave an open door thinking that that driver is not going to make that point, he's not going to make that corner. And then they grip, they make the corner, they manage to get on through. And that's what makes it even more spectacular.
Absolutely. So, right now, in the battle for the lead, you have Campbell Adams, Tony Atala, Alexander Dimas, Rens Thomason, Marcel Biega, Linus Donovan, and Tudor Pressakan, who's in 7th, who doesn't want to be in that 7th position. He wants to move up, he wants to get into the middle of this fight. But now, once again, the run towards turn number 1, the slipstreaming is on, and now there's a chance for Rens Thomason using a bit of battery. So, Hitala moves to the front, but now Dimas has to be late on the brakes. He has to try and get past, because if he doesn't, he could be past. His pass will be past stuff, because Rens Thomason is there. Thomason wants the position, and is he going to be able to get there? This will be tight stuff down towards turn number 4 in the opening race of the season. Keeping his foot in the long way round is going to be Dimas, and he'll stay ahead of Thomason, who's still in 4th, and somehow they're all in the same order as Hitala this time around. Getting a gap to 8 tenths, he is trying to break clear, and if you can break clear in 1 second, it was so tight, and we both saw it at the same time. Biega having a look as he tried to get by.
Biega really trying to do it, but he may have opened a door for Donovan to send Alonso style down the inside. Go, can he make it stick though? He's trying to get the traction and they're still side by side coming down towards turn number 11. Who's going to concede? Who's going to have the power down? The Mercedes looking to come out on top of that one. Biega will, but he's opened the door. Judah Pressakan's looking to push on through against Linus Donovan. The McLaren under attack. He's going to be forced to the outside line as Judah Pressakan, late on the brakes, dive into that inside once again. His signature move, push those braking points.
Hitala out in front has got a 1.1 second advantage. It is costly for your race if you do lose that 1 second, and that means that Alexander Dimas has to get on with it. He's got to get by, he's got to use the DRS to get through. He won't be the only one, he'll be joined for company, at least attempted by Rens Thomason, who is going to get close, will not be able to get by unless he can get the exit towards turn number 4. They both have the rear wing open, the barn door open, DRS, and it means that the positions will remain the same. And my word, is this getting a bit more aggressive now. Lap number 16, the race is absolutely flying by. Great to have your company as we see Walter Steg get by and move up to 12th position. He's got past Yannick Schmidt as well, who is in 13th for Ricarb.
Interesting stuff. Yannick Schmidt expected to be a little bit higher up in the field. The reserve driver has certainly produced some masterclass drives in previous seasons, but it is Wojtek Steg who is just ahead of him in that Gixalba. Another reserve driver, reserve against reserve, looking for what could be their chance to maybe get a full-time seat if one opens. You know, these full-time drivers, promotion to tier 2, certainly on the cards. Reserve driver looking for the full-time seat. Now is the time to make yourself noticed.
Absolutely, we mentioned last season, if you can impress, then you're going to get promoted, and that was Gabriel Quintino. The season before it was Ben Marples and Angelo Di Ortenzio. That meant that drivers like Danny Van Ruiten last season could get promoted to a full-time seat, and this is exactly the goal for these drivers who are doing battle, as right now the battle for second place will go on, and it's going to get super tight, and you can see they navigate their way through, and look at this battle right now taking place for the lead. The Haas car ahead of Zach Miles is about to be lapped, so the arena behind him right now is going absolutely wild because it's so tight. The Williams, spin in the background, Linus Donovan into the wall. The McLaren driver sent round after it getting really feisty at turn 4, and on the exit he's gone round, and look at this battling.
Still feisty.
It's wild.
Judah Pressakan looking to fight on against Rens Thomason, does get on through. His battle Absolute after battle.
Oh!
Oh, contact! Is that Tomas Lamon? And it is. He's dropping down positions. Viega's through. Booba's through. Big sender, but he needs to try and stay back with the pack. You see that there was a 2-second gap. The 2 seconds is no longer. The train has caught back up, and the fight is well and truly back on for all drivers, providing they can make those lunges, make those moves. Bulba getting mighty close to the rear of that Mercedes of Marcel Biega. Will we see any form of late lunges from the Aston Martin driver? He's making himself very racy, very pacey, putting the pressure on his rival ahead of him. But up to now, it's just going to be one huge DRS train, a huge battle all the way down to turn 1. It's who's going to be brave, who's going to be late on the brakes, who's going to burn that battery as they all come powering down over the line, powering down in the first sector, slamming on the brakes into turn 1. Bit of a late lunge there. There's an open door. Tomas Lamanen's trying to make one through. Paul Adolph's looking to try and get that overtake done, but it wasn't coming. Oh, the fighting is certainly on laps in now.
It is getting very frenetic and all exploded in this part of the circuit, and it continued all the way down to the next few sequences of corners. And the aggression level is definitely ramping up for these drivers. Talking about the aggressive driving ramping up, it was a late lunge attempted by the driver who is turning into the master of late lunges at this stage. It's Tador Presekan, who is nudging. Oh, he sent the recarb into the back and round. There's going to be round spin coming in for Alexander Dimas, and it was always going to happen at that moment when they were all bunched up. And now we have a brawl going down to turn 11.
Absolute brawl in turn 11. Biega contact. Is he going to stay with him? Alexander Damas goes back on through to try and retake positions that were taken from him so unfairly. It's Renz Tomasen almost being pushed through turns number 13 by Biega behind. Tomas Lamon and also staying close within that fight, close within that chance to fight on through. As we get onto the DRS, there's a VCAB versus VCAB. Yannick Schmidt, Campbell Adams. Campbell's dropping positions like a stone. One of the VCABs dives into the pits. That was it. A team fight for the pit lane.
Oh my word. Well, this race this season absolutely exploding and really basically continuing the way we ended it last season. And our lovely producer for today, Sappy, who basically said last time that it was great to have Bahrain once again because these guys all had a chance to redo and try work on what happened at the last corner on the last lap of last season. But it looks like they've all decided to go for the absolute exact same approach. This is right now so far with still the last few laps to go. We're only on lap number 19 of this race. So still, we have so much action to come, and usually the final stages are the exciting ones. Everyone's on the tyres, everyone wants to be and get in those positions that will help them try and get the best result and the best placement as well before we head on to the 29th and final tour.
Biega has wing damage. Oh, look at the front plate. It's missing. Front left side has gone. He's going to have to box soon. He's going to lose time swapping that wing. What could have just been a straightforward pit stop has now been thrown out of the window, and he's going to have a massive time loss.
It will be disappointment, and that is going to be exactly what they all would have been facing with these squabbles. The battle they were all taking place in, that will be super tight into the penalty as they all try and get it slowed down. No speeding penalties this time around. That would be costly for the race because that would be a 10-second as we now look to Tony Hitala as he makes his way through as well onto what will be another lap. And he's being chased all the way by Presekan as the net leaders do battle towards turn number 1.
Ooh, nice little scrap going on there, the net leaders. But as the pit stop strategies come out to unfold, come out to play, them two still need to go a little bit longer. They need to get back around the circuit, get into the pits. As we see, Tudor Presekan and Hatala are not that far behind.
Yes, so they're all now on the Red Wall soft tyre for the drivers that will have the fresher tyres by a lap or two. Definitely we will be finding themselves higher up. A driver who has bolted about to say is Korsman. He's definitely, as you can see, 2 laps. So he went for a bit of an undercut and he'll be just trying to remain in there when we do get to those final stages. But the battle basically could be between Pressakan and Hitala pretty much for this race lead, considering everyone from third downwards had contact down at turn number 10, which really did cost them. And now there is a 3-second gap, which will definitely be hard to gain, unless, of course, we do get any safety car or any moment between the top two that brings the rest into play.
We don't want to see a safety car come in. We'd like to see a nice clean race. We hate to jinx it or put a commentator's curse on it, but Oleg, maybe those two are both banking on that safety car coming as the pit stop strategy yet to come into play. But everybody's boxed. That's it. It's only those two that are left to go. The chances of anybody dropping out on used hards is well and truly gone, as there's a fight though between Damas, Tias Korsman and Rens Tomasen. Tomasen leading the charge there. That little pack of drivers with the front two, Hatala and Pressakan, well and truly in the dust, in the wind, chasing down Van Bussel and Napadovsky.
That's exactly what is playing out right now. So Hitala about to get on to two drivers who are still yet to come into the pit lane as well. They'll be hoping to make quick work. Well, we expect Van Bussel and Napadovsky to be in very soon. If they are blocked for any bit, they'll be hoping it doesn't cost them too much time, considering they would like to keep this a personal battle. We're going to get a lot of 10-car trains battling for the win near the end. They've been given a lifeline. They've been given an opportunity for it to just be between these two. So they're going to absolutely take it with both hands. Or you could be part of, well, 3 wides, 4 wides coming in. We know how badly that went. As I've already referenced today, we know how badly that went when we ended the season at this corner on the last lap. But right now, Hitala, Pressakan both make their way through on Napadovsky. They'll both also make their way through on Jerry Van Bussel, and they'll also get a bit of DRS as well.
They will make their way through, but surprising to see Van Bussel staying out another lap. They've been passed, and he will stay out and go a little bit longer. The time loss is going to be huge if we do not see that which shall not be named.
Contact! That is super tight. It's Campbell Adams, Marcel Biega, Thomas Laminin, and also Steg in there. And they were momentarily 4 wide on the exit after they all came into a battle and contact there as well. As you can see, Marcel Biega still with the front wing damage, so he has decided, of course, to not change that. It would cost his race too much. Laminin ahead of Steg, who will try his absolute best to get by. And right now we'll go back to single file after we went 3 wide into the first turn, which ended in tears.
Oh, interesting stuff, Oh, contact! Oh, Wojtek getting a little bit too friendly with Lamanin's rear tyres there. A bit of wheel barging, but they kept themselves well controlled. No unfortunate incidents, but maybe a couple of tenths loss is all they'll see from that little squabble.
Here you go. Here we go to the personal battle for the lead. And this is not something that they'll experience a lot this season with how the races usually go. But as it stands, unless they have anything major, like they take each other out or any of that happens, they are going to be both battling and both in contention for this. As another change comes in, they'll be making easy switches at this stage. No point battling, no point sending each other deep into corners at this phase of the race and bring everyone else into play. They're going to wait and reserve that for the last lap where the win will be on the line, where they'll both be going for it. Still, Jerry Van Bussel deciding to continue on, so I think he really is just hoping for that safety car, as now the rest of the field has to navigate their way through in the technical and second sector here at Bahrain International.
Ooh, Tomas Laminin and Tias Korsman getting into that little bit of a squabble with Van Bussel. Those hards are not keeping up any longer. Position loss is just incoming as we see a big dive there from Sousa to the inside line in turns 9 and 10 and gets it done easily with that tyre difference. Van Bussel is just dropping positions like a stone. He needed to box and he hasn't. He's left it too long and now will just fall very far down the field. Around about 3 seconds a lap loss is the estimate.
Absolutely. That of course did momentarily create some gaps between these drivers, but they're going to close that all back in. But if you weren't able to make quick work, that's why you were seeing dive bombs literally everywhere. If you weren't making it work in tractions, and if you weren't dive bombing, if you weren't using your battery, you would be losing so much time as we come over the line once more then. And yeah, Jerry Van Russell just continued to go on. He was really hoping for that safety car, and he's going to be spun momentarily round by Campbell Adams, who is coming late on the brakes down into the first corner. But they both continue on, and they both continue on, just losing a couple of tenths there. But yes, Jerry Van Russell really praying. But at this stage, he's going to drop all the way to the back. He's going to drop all the way to the back, where it's absolutely completely pointless. Even if there was a safety car, and everyone in the field had to pit once again for a fresh set of softs.
Yeah, absolutely. You see that contact there with Campbell Adams, it just goes to show the tyre difference. Campbell Adams expecting Van Bussel to be able to make it on the brakes, and obviously with a tyre difference, he needs to brake a lot earlier to make that corner. Just does not have that tyre life, and Campbell Adams comes steaming up behind him, and the contact just happens. It just goes to show how used out those hard tyres really are. As he does get on by around the outside. Brave move, but it's easy done as other drivers look to that outside line and get themselves past Van Bussel. 23 laps on those hard tyres. He needs to get it back into the pits. He needs to do something, and soon, wow, huge contact there. Wojtek Steg pushed off the track. He's opened the door for Biega, who's missing his front left end plate to try and fight back through. Does get on through, and here comes Wojtek Steg to come on and fight again. And Van Bussel dropping down to P14. A disaster race for him.
Oh, it's getting super tight. You've got the Red Bull to the mix, and you find yourself with Dimas, who is ahead of course behind Sauser, as well as these guys do battle, and it's got really wide, very nearly 3 wide on the run towards turn number 1. It will be 2 wide momentarily by Sauser, by Korsman and Buba, but it's going to be Buba who will try and make the move, and Buba will get the move done. So Korsman drops in behind. As we mentioned, this is what I mentioned earlier on with the strategy. He decided to pit a lap early, so his tyres will be older, and that's even that slight little lap can play dividends to these drivers, and also really affect the race with how close it is. Every single little advantage that they have is going to be very helpful when it comes to the business end of this race.
Yeah, absolutely correct.
So, Thomason in third position right now, and Sauser directly in behind, so that's the battle for third right now.
Ooh. Yeah, you see that front right end plate has gone from that Williams. Rens Tomasen is now going to struggle just like Biega. The front wing has taken that impact. He's going to lose his front end aero, lose that rotation. It's going to make it very harsh on those soft tyres now in terms of tyre wear. Is he going to dive into the pits? No, he's not. Only 3 laps to go, and he's going to try and risk it, going to try and stay and fight it all out. Here comes Boomer, the driver with the freshest tyres out of this little pack of squabbling side by side. Alexander Damas to go against Rens Tomasen. Boomer looking for an open door, and he may have got it on Damas. He certainly has, side by side on the exit of 3 with that DRS aid. The position is taken very easily. Just a beautiful run there from the Aston Martin.
As Jerry Van Russell does retire, the safety car that he was hoping for is not going to take place here in the opening round of the season. But now, here we go. We're going to get a mega battle for third. You are going to see a battle for first as well. Felipe Sauser, who, of course, has had now a couple of seasons up there in the F2 tier. His time right now on F124 has, of course, been in the F2 tier for 2 seasons. Hasn't really worked out there for him. He was the driver who bypassed this tier a couple of seasons ago. He actually bypassed this tier, but it didn't quite work out for 2 seasons going straight to F2. So he's here with us as he tries to win this championship and then move back straight away to F2, and with hopefully a bit more pace coming in, and he'll be able to challenge for the title. That will be his goal and aim. But right now, his goal and aim is to get the final spot on the roster.
Bulba's had a hell of a run. He's looking for a move on Rens to Massa, and it will be to that inside with that DRS, burning the battery, trying to get on through, making it side by side towards turn 1. He's on the outside line. If he can get himself around it, will switch to the inside of turn number 2. Will be in a better position, but Rens to Massa, very, very good on the throttle, able to try and defend against this Aston Martin. They're side by side all the way up from turn 1 to turn 4. Still on the exit. It looks like the Aston Martin is slightly inching ahead. Well, the Williams is not going to let it go easily, but he has to back out, and we return to single file before we get into 5, 6, and 7 S's of Sakhir. Beautiful racing, beautiful fighting there from the Aston Martin, looking to make the benefit. He does have the freshest tyres out of the cars around him by just 1 lap, but as you said, Omi, that 1 lap can make all the difference. That little advantage, any advantage that you can take on your rivals ahead, you will most certainly try and use. He now needs to try and close up that gap to Felipe Salza if he wants any dream, any hopes of getting on that podium position. 2.5 seconds from the front 2 as they still fighting out for the victory of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, so right now it's getting super tight. Dimas is gonna try and get to the run. He is gonna be super, super tight as we head through to the 14th corner of this racetrack, which is also, of course, the 15th. That's just a little kink. They aren't worried about that. Their main focus is turn number 1, which is coming up. On to the penultimate tour of the race we go. Are we about to get a change for the lead? Hitala sits in behind, waits at this stage. Same can be said about Buba and Salza. The same cannot be said about Thomason and Dimas, because Thomason sends the Williams past and up to P5.
Oh, true to Pressican and Natali. You can see Pressican weaving to try and break that DRS, but side by side, he's had TS Korsman trying to get on through. He's certainly going to try and fight away with Tomas Lamanen, but just can't make it in just yet. He's still sat there in the top 10. He wants to try and get a little bit higher. There's a big stand from Wojtek. Steg making it on Campbell Adams side by side on the exit of turn 8, powering down towards turn number 9, backs out of it, and lets Campbell keep that position so far.
Absolutely. On board we go with Korsman, as he is right now clinging on to the points paying positions, but that can all change on this last lap. You're going to be getting some fight going on. Look at the gaps as they navigate their way through. This is going to be wild stuff down to the first turn, but it's also going to be close stuff between our top 2, Tador Pressakan and Tony Hitala, who are debating the lead and trying to get an early advantage in this championship. As we look at Pressakan, and he is going to have Hitala all over the back on the run towards turn number 1 on the 29th and final lap.
Here we go, powering down towards the line to start the final lap of the race. It's Pressican versus Hatala. Hatala looking to that outside line. It's easy done with the DRS, but Tuna Pressican will pick up that detection point for the next. Coming around turn number 3, he will open that rear wing. He will have the chance to fight it back. Not only that, if he doesn't here, he will do it in sector 2. The DRS is going to make it. He's going to try and look to that inside line. At turn number 4, he's going to send it. The slight contact between the 2 front runners. Who's going to come out on top of that one? Still side by side as he comes towards the S's. Sends it through, goes Pressican, but Health Tyler keeping his calm. Catches himself a slide, sends his Aston Martin almost spinning out of control, but did manage to keep himself on the back foot. He's still within a striking distance as we come through sector 2. Turn number 10, exit it nicely, close up to your rival and open that rear wing. This is one of your final chances to do something about it. Matala versus Pressican. He's trying to close up the gap. It's 2 tenths and closing. Nowhere. There's just nowhere to send it. No late lunches to come. It's all for Hatala to lose. Pressican pushing on after all the late braking manoeuvres we've seen. This is going to get spicy down the back straight.
Oh, that's going to be wide for Tony Atala. But this is the last chance. He's gaining. Pull it to the outside line. Are we going to get a last lap move in this race? He's trying to go around the outside. The 14th and 15th corner. Who's going to get there? It's going to be so close between these 2 drivers in the opening race of the year. And it's Tador Pressakan who reaches the checkered flag first. And by under 1/10 of a second, he claims the win at the end. As Hitala has to settle for second place. Boomer in third. They battled so hard, Corey, on that last lap that they brought Boomer, Felipe Salz, and all of those drivers into play at the end when the gap was about 3 seconds before that last lap.
Absolutely, that was a monumental battle for the victory. Prestican and Atala all throwing it out to get their season 39 off to a fantastic start. Bulba with a great recovery, as well as Souza. At one point, we saw Felipe all the way down in P14 and 15 in this race, managing to get himself all the way back up to P4. And Renz Tomasin, who has been in the fight all throughout the Grand Prix, taking P5 in the end. Wow, what a race this has turned out to be. It's had its share of drama, contacts, drivers getting damage, strategies from unknown areas, and of course, one mighty fine battle for the victory. Tudor Prestican, take a bow. You have been spectacular all race long. Those late lunges, those last minute moves, this last lap fight for victory, and the victory is certainly well deserved.
Yeah, absolutely. The provisional win at this stage as well. It all can still change in the steward's room. And of course, he was involved in a couple of contacts. Hard to judge from our side, but if there is any reports that do come in, then definitely the results can still change. That's not only for first, that's for every single position in this field when they finish so close together. And right now, onto the top step of the podium for Pressican. This is going to be a great and enjoyable moment for him. It's the best way to kickstart your PSGL F3 campaign in your bid to become the season 39 champion.
Oh, what a way to start off the season, going at it with a bang. The top three, we would like to have a word if we can get some sort of interview going. If not, it's all understandable. We have had our fair share of issues tonight, but hopefully we get a word. Especially, I want to speak to Tudor Prestican. Those late lunges, going very late on the brakes. I want to know how he manages to pull that off with ease. Souza, good recovery up into P4, Renz Tomas and P5, Dimas P6, Adolf 7th, Laminen, Steg and Campbell Adams doing your top 10. Going down outside of that, Yannick Schmidt, Tias Korsman, Marcel Biega, Victor Wilder, Oleg Napadovsky, Zach Miles, Jerry Van Bussel, Linus Donovan, Alexi Covero and Leonardo Tonolato. 4 drivers DNFing from this race. Was Zach Miles, with his first share of issues, did go on, even though he may have been lapped to finish the Grand Prix. Almost been lapped, should I say. A minute behind in the end. We love to see drivers that finish the race. But for now, we hope to have a little word with some of the drivers.
You would absolutely love to. As you mentioned, there's so many different questions you can ask these guys after they finish and the race concludes. There's so many different aspects of the race that we didn't get to understand and see when it was actually playing out. So it is always great to hear. So we'll wait and see if anyone does want to speak to us after what was a highly intense race. And well, I think Sappy summed it up perfectly. We'd come back here, we'd redo it, and that was exactly how to redo it. Incredible stuff. Tony Atala, Tador Prestican. We were having a battle all the way to the end in the race last season, to the last corner, which ended in contact. This time around, they kept it clean, but kept it as exciting as ever.
Oh, what a race it has been. What a good way to start off the season. You know, Bahrain can bring some spicy battles in action, but towards the end there, it was all thrown up into the air. You saw the gap close from 3 seconds, like you said, Omi. That fight on the last lap, almost bringing everybody from the back into play, into contention to take that victory away. The fighting, the aggression, the battles and the drama, all very hard. But it just sets the bar high for what is expected in Brazil next week. We do have Tudor Prestican, the race victor, who has managed to join us.
Yeah, hello.
There he is, there's the man, the race victor, provisionally, outside of any stewarding reports will come in later down the line. But
I mean, I don't know what they are talking about, to be honest. Just waffling, as always. So.
waffling, that's what we do best, mate. That's all we do best. But the late lunges that you did were some quite brave moves, late on the brakes. Feeling confident here in Bahrain is something I wanted to ask you. Are you used to going a little bit of a Daniel Ricciardo style into some of these turns? Bit of a risky maneuvers?
I mean, they were braking at 300 meters before the corner, so I wasn't going that Ricciardo I was just going normal. So, yeah, that's how you should go.
So he's just using standard braking points, not running at a slower pace?
Yep.
It was a good race from yourself, a good way to finish off with a bang, a nice little last lap fight. So were you enjoying that, scrapping out with Hatala?
Yeah, that was a really fun fight with Tony. I was a bit pissed because he stayed behind me for like 4 laps, so like 5 laps or maybe more. So they were able to catch up in the final lap. But I mean, I understand him.
Yeah, no, it was a good little fight, and nice to see on the last lap you both giving it everything in the final couple turns to try and get it down, drag race to the line, whereas you came out on top. But yeah, congratulations on the victory. I'll pass you on to Omi for any questions, my friend.
Thank you.
Well, looking ahead to the rest of the races that we have coming up this season, is there a particular track that you are particularly strong at?
I mean, I'm pretty strong at. I don't have a particular one, but the next one is Brazil. I quite enjoyed, so I'm looking forward to it.
Great stuff. We wish you the best of luck in that.
Yep, thank you.
Well, it seems nobody else joining us in the waiting room for any form of interview. No words, no questions to be had with any other drivers. It's been its dramatic season start, but hopefully next week we shall be back to happy runnings. A big thank you to Sappy for jumping in and directing the stream last minute after all the little lag spikes and lag drama seen by myself. So I've got to give credit to the man who came in and saved the Grand Prix from lap 2 onwards. It was yeah, lovely to be here with you all, mate, and I'm excited to run the rest of this season.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get all of the tech issues fixed, but absolutely thank you to producer Sappy, who was supposed to be doing that role for F2, but had to jump in very early to come and make sure that you had a great race. So a huge thank you to him for making this possible, and we'll hopefully be able to bring you full coverage next time when Corey has got all of the Wi-Fi stuff sorted. But yes, F2 redirect is on, so you'll be sent straight through to them as they complete their new season time in alongside Mr. Richards, who, well, by the looks of things, is a yeah, by the looks of things, it looks like that he's also a good commentator, along with, of course, a dancing expert, according to the PSGL socials. But yes, please go join them.
Absolutely, but from now, that is all. And you get a quick little look at the calendar of what is to come next week. Brazil, then Belgium, China, Austria have a week's break. Britain, Singapore, Mexico, and Abu Dhabi finishing off this 9-round season. Well, that is all for now, and we shall see you next week with hopefully a little less drama. Good night.